Ben Mckay is a 24-year-old stand-up comedian and dumb little baby boy. And you are listening to his podcast. Each episode, Ben uses Reddit to learn life lessons. Today, Ben talks about
long-distance relationships. This is Baby Ben Podcast, episode 7. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I saw my one stand-up clip did okay on YouTube Shorts. I've got a handful of new subscribers. Welcome. You guys are in the first 40. That's huge. One day you're gonna be like, I was one of the first 40, or you're a bot and I'm talking to no one. So we'll see. But this is the podcast where I take an aspect of my life that I want to improve, and I find some Reddit stories, and I grow up, learn some lessons. This one I picked long distance relationships. I got a bit of an LDR situation myself. My girlfriend, she's not anymore. Actually, she's here for the summer, which is good. But she lives in Chicago a lot of the time because I think apparently optometry school is more important than me. But we let that be. I remember I said too in the last episode, I was like, oh, she's gonna be here for the summer. Maybe she'll jump on a few of these episodes. I figured this would be the one she'd want to come on, but she actually doesn't want to. So it's gonna be, she's here also. She's sitting on my bed beside me, judging me. So we'll see. If you think this one's better, don't say anything, because I can't do this every time. But if you think it's worse, that would tell me, so then I can kick her out, so I don't have to do it in front of her moving forward. But I don't know. I think even I say that these are things I want to improve. I think honestly, this might be one I'm an expert at. I think we do the long distance good. I think I'm not that bad at it because I'm busy anyways, and we're dominating the FaceTime call relationship. I think things are good. Do I sound like I believe that when I say when things are good? I do think it's good. I always say when people are like, "Oh, how is it?" or whatever, I'm always like, "Oh, it's not that bad." I think it's good. But then whenever she's here for a long period of time, I'm like, "Oh, this is actually way better." So I think maybe it's just sort of like a, you know what I mean? If you're in jail, sometimes you're like, "Oh, it's nice. I got in the yard," or whatever. You forget what it's like to be on the outside and have sex once in a while. We're going to edit that out? Okay. I don't know. Long distance relationship is good. Found some juicy Reddit stories, though, for this one. These ones a little more clickbaity, I think. Maybe this is the one clips start moving. Inshallah. It sucks that she doesn't have a microphone because she giggles at a few of these. And then it just seems like I'm insane smiling at my own joke while she laughs because you can't hear her. But whatever. It is strange, though, also that she's here because usually she listens to these, and she's usually first to it, too. So now if she's here and she has less urgency to listen to it, if at all, it's going to sit at no views for a while when I put this up. But, no, I love you guys. We get about 30 views on these. Let's get to 50 on this one. Wouldn't that be huge? Do you think they'll let me monetize 50 views? Probably not. Okay, number 1. Just found out the guy I've been dating on and off for 4 years is engaged. Exactly as the title reads. We've been long distance for 4 years. Our relationship... I said the title. What do you mean? I just read that. Just found out the guy I've been dating on and off for 4 years is engaged. Okay. Listen to TikTok. This is so nice having a critic live. This is way better. Okay. Story number 1, titled, Just found out the guy I've been dating on and off for 4 years is engaged. Exactly as the title reads. We've been long distance for 4 years. Our relationship has been on and off due to communication issues, or so I thought. We reconnected a few months ago and things seem to be going well. We just spent this past weekend together in Chattanooga. I had a weird feeling earlier and decided to search his name on Google. Lo and behold, I found the engagement video his fiancée posted last September. We were just trying on vacation with my family in May 2023. I'm shattered. I sent him the video and let him know I was so disgusted and a few other choice words. He basically said it is what it is. No remorse, no apology, nothing. I told him I was going to tell his fiancée everything, and he threatened to expose our videos if I did. No clue what he was talking about, but I honestly don't care. I don't know if I'm looking for advice. Clearly we're done, and the depth of what we had was all in my head. I was so patient and understanding with him. He was in med school and used that as an excuse for why we couldn't progress that I'd hoped. But clearly that was a lie. I just wasn't the one. Deep down, I knew. This was probably my biggest fear, and I expressed this to him previously in the year, so the fact that it actually happened is killing me. I don't understand why I deserved this. Why couldn't he just stay out of my life? Why did I even let him back in? I feel so freaking stupid and embarrassed. Damn. Yeah, you should be, idiot. No, that sucks. What a loser. That's crazy. Every time I hear those, though, I'm always like, how did you not know a little bit, right? Like, oh, we just had communication issues. Like his Wi-Fi just went out for 3 weeks at a time, and I didn't notice. His Wi-Fi would be out all day, and then except for 3 a.m. once a week, he would hit me up, and I'd just be happy for the time. I love that he uses his real name. That rocks, too. This guy has a whole second life going, but he never thought that you would even Google. I love that she sent him a video. I think that's so funny. I don't know why. The idea of making that video is hilarious, because you see a final product of that, you're like, that rocks. But it's so funny if you start making that video and then you have to restart. You know what I mean? Like, most people aren't that. I even these, it takes me forever to get going, you get rolling on them. It's so awkward starting a video. That's so funny. You know what I mean? To be like, you're an idiot, and I fucking, how dare you? You know what I mean? Be like, wait, no, what do I want to tell him? Real bullet points, being like, okay, I'm going to say he's a stupid asshole. He wasted my time, and he has a little dick. Okay, we'll close with little dick. This guy's obviously horrible. Like, that's, what a monster, right? But it's pretty, I mean, he has a girlfriend. He has a fiance. He's also in med school. Time management-wise, this guy is phenomenal. I could never organize all those things. I could barely have a girlfriend and a weekly podcast. It's, I mean, maybe he's not actually in med school too, hey? That'd be awesome. That's a good lie. Okay. If one of my 40 subscribers, if you have 2 families, and I don't judge you, you're one of my 40. I love you. But if you're out there and you're doing it, let me know how you figure out, how do you manage your time? You must have a planner going or something, right? You know what I mean? I mean, like, girlfriend birthday this day, wife, fiance anniversary. Like, surely these things line up once in a while. Trip to Chattanooga or whatever with girlfriend. Send wife away with girl. Truly, I can't do laundry and get groceries in the same day. This guy is kind of my hero in some aspects, but he's a piece of shit also. I don't know if there are lessons here. Cheating, bad. Google your partners. Google yourself if you're cheating. Make sure it doesn't come up. And maybe lessons here. People who seem like they're cheating probably are. You're probably not crazy. But also, some of you are crazy, so it's hard to say that. I think people in med school are animals, though. Right? Because my girlfriend, she's in optometry school, like I said. And everyone in there, they're kind of crazy. So maybe she's cheating on me, actually. I don't know. It's tough. Because she's in optometry school. Her sister just graduated, is an optometrist. Her sister's boyfriend also just graduated, is an optometrist. And me, stand-up comedian with 40 subscribers on YouTube. So honestly, it would scare me if this got a lot of views, because then I'd be worried that her parents would be watching these. I think so I see what you mean, though. It's intimidating dating someone in med school. But just this proves that they're monsters, and we're better than them. And also, this is real med school. My girlfriend's in optometry school, which which is not the same. No, it is. I really respect what she does. Cut that shit. I don't tell you what letters to put on the charts. Okay. Story number 2. This one's from the Today I Fucked Up thread. It says, today I fucked up by ratting out my college roommate because he's cheated on his long-distance girlfriend for 4 years. Also 4 years. That's crazy. Is this guy in med school? Because that's... Today I fucked up by betraying my college roommate's trust and exposing his infidelities to his long-distance girlfriend. Let's call my roommate Charlie. Charlie was in a long-distance relationship with Emily while we were roommates in college, but he cheated on her with multiple girls throughout our time together. I learned that Charlie also talked trash behind the back of every girlfriend he had, including Emily. Years later, Emily and Charlie broke up, and she asked me for advice on whether she should get back together with him. Unable to keep Charlie's infidelities a secret any longer, I told Emily everything and advised her to run and never look back. Now I feel guilty for betraying Charlie's trust, because some guys say I broke the bro code, but I stand by my decision to protect Emily from further harm. It's also essential to be aware of how someone talks about their partners behind their back, as it can be a sign of infidelity or other toxic behavior. Wow. Obviously you didn't Today I fucked up. Shut up. You know you did the right thing. You're just looking for us to tell you. The honest answer, you didn't break the bro code. You were a good person. You waited until much later. To be honest, though, if you were going to tell her ever, you really should have, if you're really against this and you really cared about her and were the good person, you would have sat your friend down partway through. Maybe in the 4 years you watched him cheat on this girl, you would have sat him down and been like, hey, man, it makes me feel weird that you're cheating on her. Why don't you just break up with her if you're not that invested in the relationship? Kind of feels like you waited too long, but you did the right thing in the end, I guess. You could have just told her no without telling her all of that also. You could have just been like, nah, he sucks, man. Or whatever. I guess maybe she wouldn't have done it, but I don't know. This is definitely coming back to you. There's no way you told her he was cheating on her this whole time and that she's not going to confront him about that. You're getting drawn back into this for sure. Charlie's not going to be stoked with you. And that being said, you probably could have just told him first. You know, you could have even gone to him. You could have said, let's talk about this later, Emily. And told her first. So give him the opportunity to do the right thing. Kind of seems like a lot of the comments on this one too were like, be honest, were you trying to fuck Emily? Which fair. Sounds like you could have been. But no, you're a good guy. You did the right thing. I don't like how much you brought up the talking behind her back. We're talking about cheating in this one. He's cheating on her. That's the bad thing. Talking trash behind a girlfriend's back, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. You definitely not on your own podcast, especially. That's toxic. But I think the fact that you brought that up so many times, I kept thinking, what did your ex say about you behind your back that you dragged so much into this? It feels like you were more upset about that than the cheating, and the cheating is way worse. Guy might just like to talk shit. I don't know if that's that bad, but it is. Don't. If you hate, clearly you hate when people talk shit behind your back. The way you've handled this situation, there's no way Charlie's not talking shit behind your back now. This guy is a known shit talker, and you retroactively ratted him out for 4 years of cheating. I feel like he's definitely going to say some stuff about you. Also, you're kind of talking shit. You're posting this on Reddit. This could be traced back to you. This isn't that discreet what you're doing, but either way. But anyways. Lessons. Cheating is bad. Don't. Right? It is funny, though. Cheating is such a big thing in long distance. Everyone always says that, right? Because long distance relationships, it's kind of like the last episode was online school. Or maybe that was 2 ago. But I think long distance relationships is kind of like long distance learning. in that it is way easier to cheat, and you got to really force yourself not to if you're going to. Nah, no one cheats. I couldn't cheat. I think cheating, I don't understand the urge to cheat, to be honest. Like, I do stand up, so occasionally, and really not that often, girls will come and hit on me after shows. And I think someone coming up to you and blatantly hitting on you, that compliment is pretty much all of the good part of casual sex with someone, right? Like just knowing that you could if you had wanted to is that's all sex is for the most part, right? Is knowing that you could have it. Is that a little bit of my psyche showing, or do people agree with that? I don't know. But my girl, I tell her about it every time too. I'll tell her, yeah, this girl was into me after the show, and she's like, "Well, was she ugly?" And I'm like, "Yeah." What? She's got my Instagram DMs too. My girlfriend's in my DMs. No, you don't want me to talk about that? No, it's because she helps me with my reels. It's not because she reads all the messages. It's definitely not that. That's funny. Hear that, Mom? My mom listens to this. Mom, do you think that's toxic? Mom, comment. Mom, there's no way that my mom can comment on a YouTube video. I don't think you... correct me if I'm wrong, Mom, but you don't have a YouTube account, do you? Or if you do, you don't subscribe to my channel, which really hurts. So I hope that's it. Okay, we're still moving. Story number 3 from the long distance thread. LDR girlfriend was asked on a date by another guy, and she said yes. All right, so this is my male 22, first time posting here. I'm in a long distance relationship with my partner, female 21, and things have been going really well. But on my second visit, because we live in separate countries, while we were joking around, she said, "I never entertain any form of conversation with other guys because I have you." And I jokingly said, "That's a white lie I'd take." Then she started acting up and even told me to go through her phone as proof. It was a bit confusing, and that kind of made me curious, so I did. Surprisingly, the first chat I saw was from a guy she'd been talking to all along. Apparently, the guy asked her out on a date and after my first visit, and she said yes through text. There weren't any follow-up texts after that except for the guy asking for her address. However, she says she later told him in person that she was in a relationship and couldn't go on a date with him. But they had planned the date. She'd sent a text to me that night saying she was going on an ice cream date with a girl from class. She also says the only reason she said yes was because she didn't want to make things weird with the guy since he helps her out in class. I'm about to break up with her from the chat I saw, but they didn't talk after that. What should I do? Okay, she's definitely cheating on you. He's like, yeah, but they didn't talk after that. They actually didn't talk after the last text where she sent her address to him. He came over then, and they had sex, and you're getting cheated on. You have to break up with this girl. And I'm not putting any of this on you. This sucks for you. But also, just in my own experience, and I'm no ladies' man, but I've found that I don't think women respect guys that say things like, "That's a white lie I'd take." I think you gotta get, don't go full Andrew Tate on this or anything, but maybe spice up the language just a little bit, because that doesn't seem like that's gonna satisfy a woman, but I could be wrong. That's just what I'd take from this. I don't understand why she gave you her phone, though. She didn't need... You weren't pushing, and she was like... I think she wanted to get caught. I think she wanted you to find out, and maybe she thought you wouldn't be... Maybe she thought you'd be okay with it? I don't know. 21, though. I guess she's just young and dumb. She's like... She's like, yeah, don't... Look at my phone. I'm not cheating on you. First text is a very matter-of-fact, down to business dick appointment set. That I don't entertain any form of conversation. We just go right to sex. Actually, I just fuck these guys. I don't talk to them. Also, as if she lied. Why would she lie to you about where she was going that night then? She's so obviously cheating on you. This sucks. Yeah, it's hard to even go through this at all. You're just kind of dumb. I can't believe you even had to post this. But that sucks. I'm sorry. Go watch some Andrew Tate videos maybe or something. Get over this girl. No, I'm just kidding. Lessons from this one, though. Always snoop on your partner's phone. It only leads to good things. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you're in the DMs. I actually have nothing to say about this one. I don't think this was a good one to include. This sucks for you. I'm sorry. Maybe DM my girlfriend, see if she answers, because I don't want to be, I'm not going to snoop, but I love those videos of those. Have you seen those TikToks where it's a guy who's like, guys DM him because they're like, dude, you're so hot, see if my girl answers you. And then they always do. There's never a video where he's like, no, she was faithful. Every single time she's like, it's like her second message and she's like, I just got my asshole bleached, or you want to see? And because this guy's so hot, and I love that. Okay, story number 4. My boyfriend, 30 male, wants to gift me, 24 female, a car. Isn't that a bit too much for a long distance relationship? My boyfriend and I have been dating long distance for 3 years now. We live in the same country, but we do live quite far away from each other, so we can't see each other all the time. Over these years, I have contributed to traveling expenses way more than he has. I'm a university student, but he runs his own business by himself, so I'm able to travel more often than he is, since usually I'm less busy. I always visit him by car because public transport is non-existent here outside of major cities, and my boyfriend lives in a tiny remote town deep in the country. Last week, my car broke down, and since it's an old beater, the cost of the spare parts I would need to fix it turned out to be way more than the whole car is worth. I've been saving some money to buy a better car at some point, but I wasn't thinking of getting another car right now since I only have about $2,000 saved up for a car. That allows me to buy another old beater, which isn't my plan. I wanted to have saved significantly more so I could get at least a decent car, but since I am used to driving a beat-up car, I figured I could deal with another one of those for the time being, if absolutely necessary. However, when I told my boyfriend about my car troubles, he offered to buy me a pretty nice but rather expensive car. He told me he isn't comfortable with the idea of me driving another beat-up car. According to him, he'd feel much better if he could be certain that my car isn't going to break down and leave me stranded somewhere. The road and weather conditions are also absolutely horrible from fall until spring in the region where he lives, so he explained he wants me to have a car that is safe and reliable when the weather and roads are bad. I appreciate that he's so concerned with my safety, but I feel like a car is too expensive of a gift since we are still in a long-distance relationship. We've never lived together, we're not engaged or anything. We have been talking about closing the distance as soon as possible, but it's not like I'm going to move in with him next week or even next month. I have no way of paying him back or giving him that much of anything in return, and he knows it. I guess it's his way of showing me that he wants me to be able to visit him until we finally close the distance. But isn't it a bit too much? Like I mentioned, I could buy a beat-up car with my savings, and it might do the job until I've saved enough for a more reliable vehicle. I think take the car. I don't know why I get it. Like, that's a lot to want to take, but it sounds like you need this car. And also, you've been spending all the money. You've been doing all the travel costs. Just consider it him paying you back for all the gas. Also, he's older than you. He's significantly older than you. If you're okay with that, you're in different life stages dynamic, then you have to be okay with taking the gifts. If he was also a university student and this was going to set him back significantly, I'd be like, no, just, figure it out for the time being. Get the old car. But you're fine. Take some gift. Unless, I don't know. Maybe the reason you're worried about this, and maybe this is me reading too much into it, is because maybe he's the kind of guy that a gift just isn't a gift, There are some people where he goes, I'm going to buy you a car, but now you have to come every weekend, and you have to be very nice to me when you come because I bought you a car. If this is going to change, if he's the kind of guy who would let this change the dynamic, then maybe I see where you are. But if he just actually likes to give you a gift and he'd feel good about it, I think that's the right thing to do. this really isn't that funny of comments, but I think this is good advice. My one friend, I have a friend he's an older comedian who helps me out with a lot of stuff. He's gotten me into a few clubs, and I crashed with it on his couch for a long time when I couldn't find a place. And he gave me some good advice because he was always doing nice things for me, and I'd always be like, oh, I don't know, can I take that? Can I take that? He was like, just say thank you. He's like, it makes me feel bad about doing nice things for you when I see you feeling this guilty. If you just say thank you nicely, that lets that person still feel good about it. Just say thanks. And then if he is weird about it later, if the boyfriend's like being a dick about it, fucking just drop him and keep the car. Put it in your name. If this guy ends up being shitty about it, then whatever, take his car. That's good advice. I think this is some of the best advice I've given on the podcast so far. My girlfriend's dad is a mechanic. He sells cars, and he's a mechanic. He has a shop, and he does free work on my car, and I hate it, dude. I feel so guilty taking work from them, especially because that's not like, it'd be one thing if my girlfriend was the mechanic. You know what I mean? Like when she's an optometrist, I'm not gonna think twice about getting free eye exams from her because we're together. But from her dad, that, there's a lot of obligation that could be sitting there, and I don't think there is. I think he likes doing it genuinely, but it's tough. I always go into him when I'm just about to go visit her or see her, or ideally she's with me in the car, because I'm always concerned a little bit that he's going to be like, oh yeah, your brakes are all fixed or whatever, and then I'm going to get on the highway and my car won't stop. So I want him to know that she's going to be in the car and will be injured as well if he takes me out. But I don't think, no, he's a nice guy, and I think he's growing on me, or I'm growing on him, but he gave me new tires. I just got new tires. I got my winters off, and I went in, and he was originally, we'd worked out that I was going to pay the cost at least $dollars per tire. Or maybe you're not supposed to say what things actually. Okay, I bleeped it. I wonder if I will remember to bleep that or not. I think I will. But anyways, he said he was going to just have me pay the cost. But then I got in there, and he wasn't there. His mechanic was there, and he put him on. He was like, no, I'm not allowed to charge you. And that's so nice, because I really, to be honest, I don't have tire money at the moment. But I felt very weird about it, So I'm going to give a homeless guy a sandwich or something on his behalf. No, I'm not. But I'll be nice. But if I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna take after him, and I'm gonna give her free tickets to a comedy show. I will give my daughter's partner unlimited Patreon access when I'm still doing this podcast as a successful adult. What am I doing with my life? Lessons from this one. You have to just let people be nice to you sometimes, because people like to be nice. And I know what you mean, there's pride and stuff like that. But if people are really giving you gifts because they don't mean it, we gotta suffocate these people out of society, I think. If people are offering things that they don't actually want to give, we have to just all start taking those things from them so they stop offering and making things weird all the time. And I think that's a great point. Okay, last story. My long-distance boyfriend, 39 male, is mad at me, 34 female, for wanting to visit his home country before uprooting my life. We've been in a committed relationship for a year. He's visited me twice, and in 4 months, I'm traveling to his country for the first time. We discussed the possibility of me moving to him. I see a future with him, and I'm enthusiastic about the idea of closing the gap. But this is not an easy decision, since I'm really close to my family, and I'm an only child, and my parents are getting older. My boyfriend knows about my concerns. However, he cannot understand why I'd like to visit first before moving there. I explained to him this is a very important first step for me, to have a taste of his country, his friends, his family, the language. I'm taking lessons and making progress little by little in the language. But to picture what day-to-day life would be like, and of course learn more about each other. He said he understood. A few days ago, we were chatting via video call, and he threw a hissy fit saying he has to endure living with his mom because I'm not there. He said stuff like, "You've already been in Europe. What is it you need to see here? Do you think this is Africa? Do I have to pass some test? Isn't it enough that the fact that you know I'm here?" Again, I said I do want to live with him, but since I will be the one making the big move, having the possibility to visit will make me feel more comfortable and give me more sense of security. I also suggested that he could move out of his mom's place right now, but he insists to wait for me. In the meantime, this is making me physically and mentally drained. He says he understands, but deep down I know he doesn't. Another problem is that the second time when he visited, he got jealous and insecure about my past relationships, my past life experience in Spain, where I lived for 2 years, and the fact that I speak Spanish. He also said he would not like the idea that I spoke Spanish better than his native language. I genuinely love him, and I'm a very empathetic person, but this is making me question everything. Has anyone ever been pressured like this by a significant other? Help. You are too empathetic of a person. This guy's nuts. That's crazy. What country could this be that this guy is so insecure that you'll visit once and you will not like it? What part of Europe could this be in where he's like, "Oh no, she's been to Spain. We're so much worse than Spain here." Also, he's 39. He's 39 and he's like, "I can't live with, I need a lady. I need to live with mommy, or I need to live with you. I cannot move out with my mom until you come." I love that you're considering moving away from your aging parents who are going to need your help potentially moving forward to move in probably with him and his mom. 'Cause if he's not willing to move out, that feels like you're going to end up living with him and his mom, or his mom's going to end up living with you guys very soon. Every time we read through this whole thread, it's just people writing things where it's like, how do you not know what everyone's going to say about this? How are you asking for advice? You got to drop this guy. He's an idiot. I'm guessing Eastern Europe, though, right? That feels like it's got to be one of the boring countries in Europe. It's got to be like Belarus or something. Or like Serbia. Also, was a little racist in that, what is this, Africa? So that skews a little more Eastern in my mind. Is that fair, I think? I don't know. Someone commented on this one. Someone said, also, he's 39 and jealous of a language. Let that sink in. I love that. I think that's so funny that he was like, "I don't want you knowing Spanish. That's what the perverts talk. You can't know Spanish." What if some Spanish guy comes up to her and starts telling her about how little my dick is? We don't even have a word for little dick in Bulgarian or whatever. The word in my language is just dick, because that's the size all of ours are. You didn't like that? That's pretty good. I think that was the best one line of the pod. That's good to know that even live you couldn't make it through the whole episode. No, that sucks. Lessons from this one, though. You got to drop this guy, obviously. Sometimes you got to be empathetic to yourself, too. Stick around. Surely you can find... You seem very kind and nice. You could find someone nicer near you. I'm always amazed at these long-distance relationships, because, like, I'm doing long-distance, and I like it, but we met here, and then we moved separate. I'm always amazed at the people like this, that they've always been long-distance. Like, why get to know someone that way? Like, that's so inconvenient. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe love is love. It feels like you could hide yourself a lot easier. It's like when you're on a dating app or something, you can pretend to be a much different person than you are. Like when we were first talking on Bumble, she said, one of my first lines, I made a joke about, it was about Sideshow Bob. But I made a joke. What's the guy's name that voices him? Doug something, is it? It's the guy from Frasier. Kelsey Grammer, yeah. And I said, I made a joke about Kelsey Grammer, and she said, ha, 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 ha. And then we talked about it later. She didn't even know what I was talking about. She didn't even understand the joke. That's what I mean, though. If you never meet in person and you never actually have to connect, you could just be Googling everything the whole time. You could be talking to if I never met someone in person I would just assume that it was a long credit card scam or something. But I don't know. These ones are all bad. I should have picked a couple nice stories. They're just not entertaining for the podcast, but lots of long-distance relationships are successful. Kind of feels like everything I've said on this episode, I've thought, probably cut that out. So I don't know what we're going to end up with here. But I think long-distance relationships are good. They're not that bad. You can do it. You have more time. You do forget little things, though. Like, we're back together. I'll be honest, I'm struggling to hold in farts again. That's tricky, having her back. I fart all the time. I never hold them in. But seems to genuinely bother her when I fart. So I guess we'll have to compromise. But the thing is, when you hold in a fart, you don't get credit for holding it in. And that's what I don't like about it. Because they don't know that you're doing it. And I want the credit in some way. I either want the credit for being like, oh, that nice fart, or the credit for, thank you for holding that in. Your tummy hurts a little bit now, I bet. I am learning also, though. I think I have stomach problems because I fart all the time. Everyone in my family farts all the time, actually. My dad, he can fart whenever. You can just be like, fart, he'll fart. And he says it's not because he can fart on command. It's because he always has to fart. And that's beautiful, I think. Anyways, this wasn't really how I meant to end the episode, but I think it was a pretty good one. The camera's just about out of batteries, so we'll end it here. Subscribe to the channel, please. The song's probably starting right now. I threw that song in if I remember. Let's go. Right there. Yeah, okay. Goodbye.